think when it comes to League of Legends, everybody has that one Kryptonite champion. And in me saying that, I think you already probably know what I'm talking about. That one champion or handful of champions that you just have no fathomable idea of how to deal with. Or just a champion that you know counters the characters that you have in your champion pool, but that one time that you forget to ban it, it gets picked. For a lot of people, this might be something like a Fiora or a Brand, but for me, that champion was always Karma. Karma was the bane of my existence for a very, very long time, partially due to the fact that I played a lot of AD carry at the time, and she made my life in bot lane a living hell with her completely unstoppable poke, but also due to the fact that even when I did choose to leave bot lane and head on to other pursuits in other lanes, Karma was always still there. Mid lane is full AP, top lane is tank Karma. If you've never experienced tank Karma top, then God has truly spared you, my child, because it was some phony baloney shit the likes of which have never been seen. Like, let me show you something.
Another rapper, yapping over other people's tracks if it matters. Living in a glass house, wonder why it gets shattered. Chat that crap and you wonder why you get bad. This is why you can't take a ticket to this style of us. This just get pissed out with now, and I can't stand to see this Venus monument to the penis. Got real, it's 2025. I'm staying alive, still living in my glass bubble, hubble and rubble. Do not trouble me living life. Jubbly, doughboy, DVDs and magazines, celebrities and amnesty and honesty, the monarchy, the rap Morris.
This is a creature that, hell, you get them in an Earth, it's basically GG, and you can probably see why. The shields were pretty massive, the damage was pretty decent, even without a large amount of AP behind it. The cooldowns were low, and the combination of AoE, slow, and hard CC, and single target damage all wrapped up into this big fat juicy shield, and a bit of sustain, it was just a thing of nightmares. So this was Karma's life. She was sitting pretty around one of the highest win rates of really any support at the time. At almost a 53% win rate, she was the plague of bot lane. Until one single day where she went from this to this. That's a 10% drop in win rate in a single patch. One patch completely killed a champion, and from that point forward, Karma and supports like her have been pushed further and further into the background. So let's kick it back to the patch that set bot lane on a course for destruction. Now it sounds bad, but honestly, this patch was a long time coming. Christ only knows how much Janna was the bane of your life during this time, but bot lane had become a bit of a snore fest. It had just been farming for 40 minutes, nobody dying because there is no jungler on earth that could kill an AD carry if a Janna past level 6 had anything to do about it, and the coordination required to murder this AD carry was incredibly high. Assassin players did not have a good time during this, and then the changes came in. A plethora of changes to Ardent Sensor over numerous patches that would effectively push shield supports to the background and set the rise for both tanks and the mage's invasion into bot lane. The bonus attack speed being destroyed, the on-hit damage being destroyed, completely removing the healing on hit, making the healing and shield power lower. This hurt Karma, because much of a terrorist she was back then, Karma only really had one spell in her kit to actually defend her AD carry on a decently long cooldown. Her shield. Now, while she beforehand excelled at poking other enchanters and these types of champions being pretty low threat early on, so the shield wasn't that big of a deal, this would have been enough. But with the rise of tanks and burst mages in bot lane, this shield was not enough. Coupled with the route that to actually pull off, you need to be incredibly close to the enemy to do so, putting both herself and her carry at risk of being obliterated by all the Dravens and Brands in the world. All of Karma's core items to actually help buff up the single supporting spell that she really had were falling apart around her, and whilst other supports like Nami, Janna and Soraka had more to offer from the backline, whether that be really strong disengage, healing or CC, Karma really didn't have anything to actually answer back with. Redemption was nerfed, Ardent Sensor was nerfed, and eventually, one of the very few strong items left on Karma, Banner of Command, was removed from the game. So now here we are, and I have to say I was really surprised. When I made my video talking about why Pyke was a poor support, which if you haven't watched it, I will put a little eye at the top right of the screen that you can click on to check out after this video is finished. I didn't really know what I expected to find when I saw him sharing the bottom spots with a champion like Karma, to the point where I felt like I really needed to do some reading and do some research into things to find out the exact reason why she has secured that place on the board. A champion that gave me endless hours of pain and misery in game, and a champion that for a very brief period of time was exclusively banned by me because I just felt like every single game with her in it was going to be a loss. Now, the more and more I read into things though, the more it kind of makes sense that this has happened to her. No hard engage beyond a movement speed up, a lackluster shield on a cooldown similar to other shielding supports of her kind, but lacking the same power that those shields bring. A route that is incredibly difficult to effectively pull off or consistently pull off unless you are prepared to get up close and personal with enemies. No real power spikes in lane throughout the entire game, opting to have an ultimate that is learned from level 1 instead of 6, meaning that at level 6, many other matchups don't really have to worry about her power spike, and they can just all in as much as they want without having to worry about Karma pulling an ulti out of the bag. And systematic nerfs to every single item that Karma needed to stay relevant. Part of me is laughing at the fact that a support that I loathed for so long is finally in the gutter, but it's a little bit sad to see this chart and see one change after another make a champion fall on very hard times. Now, I've heard rumors that they're looking into a potential mini rework for her though, so hopefully Karma does end up back on her feet. But I want to ask, what do you think? What do you think of Karma, and who's your kryptonite in games? Is it Yasuo? Is it Singed? Which champion do you just struggle to play against in any way, shape, or form? Let me know in the comments section below, and whilst you're down there, I'd really appreciate it if you do like these videos, to drop a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and join the sock drawer as well. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. There's been a lot of people subscribing recently, and don't really know how to handle it. I hope just pray for me not having a mental breakdown. Yeah, follow me on Twitter, I guess, to see you guys later. Have a good one. Goodbye.